I have the perfect setup to make something amazing. I've got the right pens, and I mean perfect pens. I've got a Kanban board and a map for all my projects for the year that I spent 3 days calibrating. I've got every input device imaginable for creating digital artwork, incredible software that can create anything, rulers, a dedicated desk for every type of thing that I make. There's only one problem. I haven't actually made anything in weeks. Here's the thing though, it's not that I can't create. Professionally, I'm doing fine. I illustrate books, a new one every 90 days, and we're 46 books in and the plan is for 100 of them, so I'm good. But my personal projects, they're stalled, mid-runway. And as much as I'm inclined to beat myself up, I know that this isn't laziness. I think it's something else. It's the trap of building runways instead of planes. I think I inherited this from my dad. When I was a kid, he collected antique bottles. Not casually, seriously. He had catalogs of all the rare Pontal medicine bottles, and we drove all around North America with our trailer in tow to go to different trade shows. He even went on digs with fellow collectors where they'd excavate old outhouse locations where people used to sip their patent medicines, the ones with the cocaine or laudanum or opium in them, and then they'd drop the bottle down the latrine hole. So they dig these up to find these rare specimens. But bottles were just one of Dad's obsessions. There was scuba diving, there was running marathons, then finally tandem bicycling, which at least my mom could participate in. With each of these hobbies, it was the same thing. Sleuthing out and acquiring the best gear, solving problems when things didn't work, the satisfaction of having exactly the thing you need to do the job and being perfectly ready. And I do the exact thing. And here's what's weird about it. It feels like work. You're making decisions, you're researching, you're acquiring things, you're setting them up. All the productivity signals are there. You feel like you're building something, but you're not doing the thing. You're building the container for the thing, and somehow the container becomes the project. I've got this poster I need to make this week for something called the Worm Moon Burn. It's a little get-together with some of my friends, and it's the conclusion of an art gallery project that started last year and concluded in January, so this bonfire was supposed to be part of it. And now it's mid-February and I still haven't done it. So I keep thinking about how I'm going to design this invitation. Like, should I illustrate it? Should I do the lettering by hand, or should I do it on the computer? Do I do handbills or just an email invitation? And meanwhile, I've switched out the pens I use for my lettering and reorganized my pen case for the umpteenth time. But this time it's perfect. I'm ready to travel and work anywhere, even though it's the dead of winter and I've no plans to travel and I barely leave the house. And what's worse, I haven't drawn anything for myself in weeks. My boss and creative partner, Dan Sullivan, who's a coach for successful, ambitious, talented entrepreneurs, probably the world's leading one, he has this line that's stuck in my head. He says, people fall into getting ready to get ready to get ready. He's talking about entrepreneurs who keep making their ideas more and more perfect before they show them to actual people, the people who might actually pay for the thing. Instead of just putting the idea in front of an audience, they're endlessly refining, endlessly preparing, endlessly building the runway. You've seen this on Dragon's Den, where people show up with something that all of the dragons are saying, stop this now, why are you putting all your money into this? But it's because they keep working and working and working on it in isolation, instead of actually sharing it with people. So the difference between readiness and doing the thing is what I keep missing. You can be ready forever. You can have the perfect tools, the perfect system, the perfect desk setup, but readiness isn't the same as creating. Readiness is the container. Creating is what goes inside it. And the catch is this, that when you spend all your energy on the container, you forget what's supposed to go inside. So there's a difference between ready and actually doing the work. And I think the real trap is that readiness feels productive. It is productive in a certain way, You're solving problems. You're making decisions. You're improving your capability. But capability without action is just potential. It's not art. It's not finished work. It's not something you can share. The thing about a personal project is that it stalls because you've built the perfect capability, but you've never actually asked yourself what you want to make. You just made sure you'd be ready for whenever the idea showed up, except the idea's already here. It already showed up. So for me, in this instance, it's thinking about this worm moon burn poster. And for you, what is it? I bet there's something. The impetus is already there, living in your imagination. You're not waiting for readiness. You're waiting for permission. And you're giving yourself permission in the form of the perfect tools and the perfect systems. But the hard part to face is that finishing something means it can actually be judged. A finished poster can be ugly. It can be awkward. It can fail. But a perfect setup, a perfectly organized desk, a perfect bookbinding kit, well, that can't fail. They're just waiting. They're potential. And potential is safe. When my family moved to Prince Edward Island, Dad discovered there was no one here to trade antique medicine bottles with. So he sold off his collection to someone in New York, and he bought us a Betamax, when it was still a toss-up between whether Betamax or VHS was going to prevail. Betamax was technically superior. It was the better technology, but it was wrong. It didn't matter that it was better because nobody else had it, so the utility was zero. And I think we do the same thing with creative systems. We value superior capability, the right pen, the right paper, the right software, even when good enough capability would get the work done. So here's what I learned. The action that produces shareable results, that's what creates opportunities. Not purchases, not preparation, action. You make the poster with the gear you have right now. You put it in front of people, and then, maybe then, you earn the leeway to buy better tools. So stop building the runway and start building the plane, because you're already ready to fly. You thought of the idea, you know what you want to make, and everything else now is just fear dressed up as preparation. Here's what actually matters. The idea you already have is enough to start. I'm going to make this worm moon burn poster with the pens and the paper I've got right now, then share it with my friends. So that's the move. What's yours?